joining me today because she won't leave me alone. It's right before bedtime. Huh. And you hurt Daddy, didn't you? Did you hurt Daddy? Yes. Yeah, she nearly took Matt's eye out with a foam sword, but it has little, like, spikes on it because it's a Minecraft sword, and she just went whack straight down as he was laying on the ground into his eye. So hopefully he'll be okay. It's just really red right now. So today I just wanted to cover something that I think is very important, especially if you're a newly diagnosed autism family, or you're already receiving early intervention services for a child with a disability or autism. One of my top things for that, to make your life a little easier, because nothing's gonna be easy, is to stay organized. And you're sitting on my file box. Huh. Yes. You done? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always been an organized person by nature. I even found it difficult to stay organized.
It goes around you.
You are. She's just gonna keep doing this. Let's see, it's a test to see if you can, if you're not distracted by the child. I'm already losing. But when the boys started getting services, it kind of became overwhelming to try to remember where everything was, to keep everything organized. I tried. Hi.
I'm distressed.
Okay. Even need an outfit change like she does 20 times a day. So yeah, when the boys started receiving services, we were so busy with all that, I went through a whole bunch of different ways to try to organize all the files and keep up with everything, and it was pretty overwhelming. So I finally found a system that worked for us. You're so ridiculous. So these file boxes, I like them. They're file crates. If I had a big filing cabinet, I wouldn't be able to really work like I need to with all my paperwork because the kids are all over the place. I'm constantly moving from room to room where I need to be to look through things, look for things.
Are you okay?
So yeah, they store hanging file folders. This one crate is just for all of the boys' services and things that they've done, like summer activities. Hi. So first, what I do for each of the boys, whenever they're going to get a new service or a new test, anything like that done, I just get a manila folder and start putting all the paperwork in that. On the outside of the folder, I'll write down the date of any appointments that I had with this service, when I get calls from them, and I'll write down a list of who I've given the report to, so I know that that other service has already received it.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Teach me. It's a real cat. And then she are doing it again.
Okay, babe. You'll find out that once you have multiple services, multiple things that you're doing with the kids, that everyone wants a report of everything. Say you're just looking to get an autism evaluation. If you've already been to different doctors, if you've already gotten early steps or early intervention services, anything like that, they're gonna want all of those evaluations too. So you'll need a central place to be able to find all of that and bring it with you quickly, easily. And this way also, like the writing on the outside of the folders helps me because I don't have a whole bunch of loose leaf papers laying all over the place. So I don't have to remember, oh wait, this doctor told me to bring this, this, and this when I came. It's on the folder already. So I just pull out the folder before the appointment and I know exactly what I need to have in it ready for them. Another tip that I have is that anytime that you get an evaluation, a test done, anything like that, I immediately make 2 more copies of it, of the original. So I keep the original and I have at least 2 copies made because people are going to ask for these reports.
It's the Hatchimal.
Yeah, crisis averted. We found the new purple Hatchimal that you got today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it cute?
The little Hatchimal there. And I want the pop, and I want the pink one.
We're not going to go get the pink one too right now.
Please. I'm going to get the pink one. There's a Hatchimal. And those are the pink and purple Hatchimal.
Yes, you had to get both. Okay, so I don't even know where I left off. So as soon as we get any test or evaluation done, I immediately bring it home, or if it's sent to the house, either way, I make at least 2 copies, if not 3, depending on who I know I have to give that evaluation to. I also make a digital copy. So I scan it, save it as a PDF in my computer and on an external hard drive. So I have 2. Eva is having a day. She just went from laughing and excited to screaming her head off. So after I make the digital copies in a PDF, I also email the PDF to myself and keep all of those stored in a separate folder. You okay now? Are you better? You got ice? Is that just because you saw Daddy put ice on his eye earlier when you hurt him? Yeah, okay. So another thing I do with the files is that as paperwork comes in for any service, I put it in the folder, and then I keep putting it in the folder in front of all the other paperwork. So it's in descending order according to date of when I received it. So newest items in the front. From the start, if you receive early intervention services, you'll have to have a folder for that. And then you have different doctors. You might see neurologists, other specialty doctors. You might get genetic testing done. You then will have the pupil appraisal evaluation for the school system. And you have to keep those up to date every 3 years, at least that's for us. I don't know what it's like around the country. So we have the newest pupil appraisal evaluation in here at all times. The ice isn't cold anymore. Like if you get Social Security for the children before they turn 18 or after they turn 18, they're gonna want all of this information. Once you go to get like an autism evaluation or any other developmental evaluations, they're going to want all of the previous times, like time frames where you receive services and all other evaluations and testing that the children have had done before. If you get an ABLE account for the children, they have a folder for that. Then the ABA therapy, I have a folder for that. The autism evaluation, our Human Services Authority, and you need something just for that. If you receive support coordination, I have another folder just for that. Early steps, any studies that you may take part in. Some people do. We've only taken part in 1 study. Any seminars that you attend or workshops. I keep all of that paperwork in here, and any additional information that I've received over the years about general information about autism. I keep everything sent to me pretty much, even the ones like that say what to do in the 100 days after an autism diagnosis. And I just keep those in case I need to hand those out to any other families that I may meet. Yeah, so that's just all the current information for the boys. I like to keep physical day planners. I keep them for years to come because I write down any time that I go anywhere, anytime that I drop anything off, so in case I forget to write it on the folder, sometimes that happens. I forget to say when I mailed in a certain application. I know that I'll have it in my day planner. So I'll write it down as a reminder of when exactly to send things in, because some things you may have time sensitive. Like we receive services from our Human Services Authority, and they will give me once a year a packet of quarterly surveys that I have to send in by a certain time frame for each one of them. And so I write it down on here and on the folder so that I know exactly when I need to send it in, and then I have reference of when I sent it in, so that's just for my benefit. If they say that they don't receive it, I can tell them exactly when I mailed it out to them. And I keep a copy of that too. So anything that also, so that's another thing I do, is that anytime I send anything to a service, if I have to mail it, if I fax it, of course, I'll already have a copy of it. But if I have to physically mail it, I will make a copy of it for myself and keep it in here so that I can show them, like, no, like, I made a copy because I mailed it physically to you. Because there's plenty of times when someone will say that they didn't receive it. And it's always when it's like something that you really need to have. So in summary, my basic organizational tips are to find some way to store everything in one place, whether it is a file cabinet or these crates. I think the crates are awesome because you can take them all around wherever you need. Have a separate hanging file for each of the services, and then within that have just another regular folder for either each child, because we have multiple children who are diagnosed with autism. They each receive each of these services and have had all these evaluations, so I didn't have to have a separate hanging file for each of them. I do it one folder within the hanging file for each child. You can also do it by years. So if you know you're gonna have a lot of paperwork every single year for a service, you could just do one folder at the beginning of the year and then go to another folder. That way it's easier to look through later on. Write down on the folder itself any important information, anytime that the services call you, anytime that you have an evaluation, the appointments, anytime you mail anything out or contact the organization yourself, so that you have it readily available whenever, like, someone calls you. You don't have to go flipping through a day planner or a notebook to find out when you last corresponded with that organization. Whenever you receive a test or evaluation in, make 1 or 2 copies of it, because other people will need copies as well. Scan every test and evaluation to your computer. If possible, keep it on an external as well. And email it to yourself, so you always have 3 different digital copies. So also I wanted to add that having the digital copies helps us because we are in an area that can receive hurricanes. We've received bad hurricanes in the past, so I don't have to evacuate with this entire crate. I'll take 1 or 2 of the very important evaluations or letters, but everything else I'll have as a digital copy, so I won't have to have it with me, and it's okay if some of these don't make it. I would try to store this in a place that would probably not get any damage, like on top of the counter, something like that. And from the start, whenever you have a folder, make sure that you're putting new items in a consistent way. So, like, don't put the new stuff, baby. So don't put the new stuff like in the front and then the next time put it in the back. Everything's going to be mixed up. That way it just keeps things nice and organized from the start. But those are my tips for organization for just autism. Like, this isn't even everything that I do. Hi. I have 3 more of these crates. You are so ridiculous.
Are you okay?
You're okay? Okay. But yeah, I love these crates. They keep going on clearance at Walmart for under $4 for each of them. The hanging folders are where you're going to spend a lot of the money. unless you already have those laying around. Of course, regular file folders are very inexpensive.
Are you okay?
But yeah, so I actually got 4 of these crates so far. I have just this one for the boys' services. I have another one for all of our financial and house-related information. I have another one just for medical paperwork and one more kind of miscellaneous items. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I hope I got all of that very clearly out there because she was going crazy in here and she's been an emotional wreck. But yeah, so I hope that this helps someone figure out a way to better organize all of their paperwork, because especially if you have special needs children, the paperwork comes in very quickly and you have to have everything ready when they call you, because some people may call you up out of the blue and need information, or you may receive parental surveys to fill out and they will ask you a whole bunch of questions on when everything took place, when the child received previous services. They want names, dates, and phone numbers. So having everything readily available to just pull out a file and be able to give all that information out really helps. Trust me. I've had those spur of the moment phone calls and I'm like, I have everything, and the person on the other end is so surprised of how organized I am and ready to give them information. Why don't they just give you a heads up or make an appointment of when they're actually going to call you, right? But yes, people will be pleasantly surprised if you are organized when they call you for certain information. Also, having the digital copy helps, because some people may just be like, email it to me, and so you're not having to scramble to try to scan it, or if you're out and about, you already have it in your own email, so you can just forward the attachment to whoever needs it. So that's how I've organized to try to make my life a little easier when it comes to the paperwork side of things, because it can be, like I said before, extremely overwhelming. Everything's coming in at once, and this makes it easier to look at. I've just thrown the folders into drawers in previous years, and trying to dig through that was crazy. I had to find something else that wasn't as stressful to look through. Let me know down in the comments below, did you find these organizational tips helpful? Or do you yourself have any tips for organizing paperwork, especially when it comes to the special needs services for children? As always, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification button and turn on the notifications. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Crazy Eva in this one. She made it fun. Also, stay tuned for the next video, because if you don't enjoy these kind of videos that much, the next video is a little different. We just went out tonight to buy all the final ingredients that I needed to make sushi. Yay! So tomorrow I'm going to be making sushi, and then I will post the video about how I personally, so it's going to be an instructional video of how I make sushi. So that's going up on Wednesday. So stay tuned, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time, bye. What are you doing? You're practicing your moves? What are you doing, boo? Can you show me some dance moves from dance class?